Hi guys, I'm going to do a review of the film Digging Up the Marrow. It was written, directed, and produced by Adam Green, who also stars in it. And it's a documentary style fantasy horror film from 2014, although production on the film began in 2010. The film opens up with several famous actors, directors, artists, writers that are associated with horror, explaining why they like horror, whether it was something from childhood or just whatever fascinates them about the genre. The focus then turns to Adam Green, and he talks about his various different films and his experiences with those. Adam then goes through the fan mail that he receives, which is artwork, different things like that, letters. Somebody sent him a bottle of prescription medicine, and finally he gets to some notebooks that are from a man named William Decker, who claims to be an ex-police detective who has spent his life looking for monsters, and he's found them, and now he wants to share his experiences and share what he's found with the world, and he's chosen Adam Green to do so. Adam and his cameraman Will decide to go to William Decker's home to start the process of documenting what he has to say and any evidence he might have that he's actually discovered monsters. So Adam and Will set up to interview Mr. Decker, which kind of, setting up the camera and whatnot, and even having a makeup artist come in and lightly powder them, which Decker is kind of a little off-put by. Decker begins to talk about monsters who are born, and as children they aren't accepted and they realize they're different, and they end up going to the Marrow, which is a world that's similar to ours except it's directly located beneath the Earth's surface. Decker then explains his childhood, how he was kind of left alone a lot and didn't have many friends, and his experiences the first time that he encountered a monster, and it was a very scary, like, snake type creature. He also has many drawings of all the different kind of monsters that he's seen over the years, which he didn't do himself. He got another artist to kind of render what he had seen. And he also has video footage that he shot of the entrance to the Marrow that he discovered when he was younger. And of course, during this whole interview, and as it goes along, you can see that Adam's kind of not sure if, or actually not even not sure, he's kind of thinking that this guy's crazy. The things he talks about, like his imaginary friends, and just more of the things he says, and some things don't add up. And you can just tell, like, Adam, the way he looks, he's not buying everything this guy is saying, and he's not sure if he's just in the home with this guy who might possibly be schizophrenic or, just something out of the ordinary. But he's going along with it because he really liked, I guess, like I said, he was really interested in his experiences that he wrote down in those notebooks to get him to do the interview in the first place. Another thing about Decker is throughout this interview, and then more so throughout the film, he really avoids talking about his family. Whenever questions come up about his wife, or he even accidentally mentions he has a son, he totally shuts off and doesn't want to talk about it whatsoever, which is also a little unnerving for Adam, who was really interested in this man's family. So you aren't really sure where this is headed at first, because you just have this guy, this older gentleman, talking about these things, and he has these drawings, illustrations, all this stuff written down. But like with Adam, because it's kind of like you're kind of seeing it through his perspective, it doesn't sound like it's true whatsoever. But it's not till about 30 minutes in that you get your first glimpse of a monster. It's very quick, and actually, I should have been expecting it, but I was tired, so it kind of did make me jump, which was stupid when I've watched so many horror films, but yeah, it did make me jump, I will admit that. You get your first glimpse of a monster, and that from then on, Adam becomes like almost obsessive with Decker's stories and with trying to get more footage of monsters after that, because he's seen it and it's amazing. Adam and Will, the cameraman, are back at Adam's place, and they're discussing what they saw, because he's like, you saw that, Will, the cameraman, he's like, yeah, and they're talking about it, and he's like, Adam's all, I've always wanted to see a monster my entire life. that's like been a dream of mine. I've prayed to see a monster, and now it's finally happening. And he's in his office or some room in his house, and like there's like masks and figurines and posters and artwork of horror stuff all around, you know, which is actually really cool. And he picks up a Victor Crowley doll that he had on his desk or near him, and he's like this. And then Will says, but Victor Crowley kills people. And Adam's like, yeah, but Victor Crowley's not real. And it's at that point you're kind of like, he really, really wants to see more monsters, but he kind of, for some reason, has put it out of his head that monsters are bad, or that they're going to act like monsters do in horror movies, which is they eat people and they tear people's limbs off and they do horrible things to humans, but he's like not thinking about that. And that was kind of interesting. There's also a really cool scene with Kane Hodder, the actor who comes in, and Adam, they have this footage of the monster for just a brief moment, probably like a second. And he's trying to convince people of this footage, and they're all like, oh, that's nice, you know, that's nice effect, that's nice, you know, that looks good. And he's like, no, it's real. And nobody believes him, and that was kind of funny, because he's like, Kane Hodder, you've played monsters, doesn't this look real? And it's like, well, it's okay. It's pretty good. And that was kind of funny. And so the rest of the film follows, like I said, Adam's kind of growing obsession with getting more and like better footage of these monsters. His disagreements with his wife, his friend Will, the cameraman, with Decker himself, him investigating Decker a little further because some of the stuff he says doesn't add up, and eventually getting a little too close to what they were looking for. Now, this film was recommended by a subscriber, and I'd never even heard of this film before, although I have seen Adam Green's work. I don't like all his films, but I do like some. So I really liked the way that this film was set up overall, like the documentary style, and just, I've never seen Adam Green in real life. I guess I just hadn't, but he acted, I mean, he pretty much, him and Will and some of the other people who were just playing themselves, really acted naturally. It wasn't like they were putting on a performance. It was just how you would think they would normally act, like reacting to things or talking about things or joking about stuff like that. And I really enjoyed when anybody talked about why they liked horror, from the beginning with all the horror related guys, to Adam himself just talking about why he likes monsters and why people are attracted to horror in the first place, that genre and all that stuff. I thought that was really cool. So overall, I give this film probably like a 7.5. It was really interesting and really fun to watch. And you don't see a whole lot of monsters in the film. It's kind of more so snippets and then kind of a little bit more toward the end. But they were still interesting looking and somewhat creepy, so that was cool. And I always like it when you don't see a lot of the focus of a film, especially if it's a monster type film or creature type film. I always think that's better to build up suspense if you don't see it the whole time or you don't see it that much. So yeah, overall I thought this was a good film. I enjoyed it and I would recommend it. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye.